The Lopes might be heavy underdogs coming into this one, but I'll tell you what, the fan base from Phoenix has made the trip all the way out here to Ball Arena in Denver. Do you guys like being the underdogs? Are you ready? Fans travel from all over the world to come here for this weekend to boo golfers when they miss the green with their approach shot and cheer for them like they just witnessed a touchdown when they get on in one or even put it in for a hole-in-one. We saw that a couple times last year, but all in all, this is why they call it the People's Open. It seems like the relationship you guys have on the court obviously stems from stuff off the court. What is your relationship like with each other as far as being friends away from volleyball? Between upsets and buzzer beaters, March Madness always delivers. Hello everyone and welcome inside the Cronkite News studio here in downtown Phoenix for another edition of our Friday show of Cronkite News. I'm Matt Venezia. I'm going to take you back 25 years ago to one of the greatest moments in NCAA tournament history. But before that, we're going to hear from Noelle Blumel as she examines one of the remaining Final Four teams and its unique ties to the Valley. The opening rounds of the NCAA tournament featured three schools from Arizona. Advantage State 48, right? Well, not exactly. If we take a look in the South region, easily one of the biggest upsets of the first round saw the 15-seed Princeton Tigers take down 2-seed Arizona 59-55 on Thursday in Sacramento. The Cats head back to Tucson much earlier than expected, while the Ivy Leaguers are still dancing into the Sweet 16. TCU went 9-9 in the Big 12 earlier this season against some of the best competition, and ASU certainly is not at that level. However, the Sun Devils, if they can channel in what they did in the first four against Nevada, they could keep this thing close at Ball Arena later this evening and try to keep the Devils dancing into the round of 32. Back to you guys in the studio. As did Zach Gallen and Ketel Marte, things are looking up for the Diamondbacks, who open the season with a 4-game set against the Dodgers in LA. Then they'll go down south to San Diego to see the Padres before coming home April 6th for their home opener. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the Sun Devils can do. That's our guy Ben Paris out there at Magnus Arena right now. Ben, how's your hair and how are you feeling over there, buddy? Maybe a hat to keep you warm and all that. What can you tell us at Magnus Arena about this matchup that's getting ready to take place in just a little bit? Well, Dom, you mentioned these newcomers, and one of them in particular, a true freshman who's been working at shortstop for the Sun Devils this season. That's Luke Hill. He has been phenomenal, stepping in such a big spot here in a very historic program. And to tell us a little bit more about him and his journey here, we send it to Sammy Miller. The Sun Devils really held their own in the first half, only trailing 21-17, but the second half looked like a completely different team. The new swag the Coyotes had on the ice here at Mullet Arena against the Vegas Golden Knights adds just another crazy uniform combination to the list in terms of what this team has rolled out over the past few years. And whether you were here at Mullet Arena or not to see them in person, don't worry, 13 more times will the Coyotes wear them at Mullet Arena throughout the rest of this season in hopes of bringing more eyes to hockey in the Valley. Well, Ethan, you're talking about all those new freshmen and their contributions to this point in the season. Well, in total, Arizona State hockey has 13 new guys on the roster, and probably the two most important guys are the two transfers playing next to Josh Stone on the top line. Hiring a young offensive mind to be at the forefront of your school's largest revenue-driving program should excite Sun Devil Nation and activate the Valley, as Dillingham puts it. One way or another, you have to give people something that is real in one of those three categories we discussed. Dillingham needs to establish an identity for this program, and winning has got to follow, and that's the way it is. March Madness is known for its buzzer beaters. When we look back in history, Christian Laettner sent Duke to the Final Four, or Chris Jenkins winning the national title for Villanova. I got one for you. Bryce Drew, 25 years ago, created a Cinderella story for Valparaiso as Valpo upset Ole Miss. At the time, Bryce Drew's dad, Homer, was the head coach for Valpo. Now Bryce is right up the road here in Phoenix as the head coach for GCU. I had the chance to sit down with the father-son duo to relive the iconic moment known simply as the shot. The shot heard around basketball. Did it still give you chills after all these years?
Chills, no. Chills during the shot, yes. As it was arched up high, it looked, Matt, like it was going to be short. And so I think that all the prayers in the building just kind of lifted it over, because if you watch the rim, it kind of hits the top of the rim and then goes right on in. And so now when we see it, I just get a smile because I know the ball's going to go in.
I remember I was standing right on the right side of the court over there while the first free throw was getting ready to go. The play then that happened was really a blur. I thought the ball was short. When it's short, you kind of jump to try to give it that extra oomph, and so I felt like I was going to be short. It skimmed the rim, went in, and then I don't even remember diving on the floor. I don't remember anything to basically being on the floor.
2.5 seconds left on the clock. free throws at the line. The first one is missed by Ole Miss. You call timeout. Can you take us inside the huddle in terms of what was being drawn up?
We just went through the possibilities of what might happen if he makes, if he misses, what are our options, and are we all prepared to do it? So it was really just a quick review, and with the hopefulness that he would miss it and we would get a chance to make a tie.
And you could hear in the video of the shot, Pacer, Pacer, the play was being yelled out. Where did that originate from?
When he missed the shot, the players looked over and they just yelled Pacer, and that was the name of the play that we use for game-ending situations. I felt wonderful because they didn't need a coach. They knew exactly what to do.
Bill Jenkins threw three for the win! Go! Oh my! Oh my! Wow. Win!
And Bryce, 25 years later, every time March Madness rolls around, you're still hearing about the shot. How does it feel to still be brought up in terms of one of the greatest moments in March Madness history?
It's a special blessing, you know, basketball family. My brother coaches at Baylor now on the national championship. So we've been, you know, our lives, a lot of have been, our schedules are entertained in and around the NCAA tournament. So for have that moment in the tournament for something that we've dreamt of our whole life is very special, and now get to see the highlight years later, you know, makes it even more special.
And on top of that, I mean, after all these years now, to share it in a father-son relationship, what was that like, being on the floor and seeing your dad and having that moment together?
You know, we've always had a really close relationship. That's probably the reason why I went to play for him, you know, at Valpo. And at the time, it was very special. But as you've gotten older, and now I have a son who's 8, it's even more special to me. I remember at the time I got a lot of messages from people, you know, from fathers and sons, and comparing, you know, our relationship and theirs, and I understood it, but after having my own son, I think I understand it at a different level, you know, just how special it was.
Now, it was really special to me, but older brother Scott says, you know, if you don't go and play for dad, no more meals at home, no more cars, you know. So I think Scott put the pressure on him to come, but it was a joy for me for 4 years to have him.
70-69, the kid performs another miracle.
And one other thing about that Pacer play, Noel, Homer tells us that was the best execution of the play they had ever run, including in practice where they barely even had a defense guarding it.
Yeah, good job getting out of that pressure, and Ryan McGuire can cleanly break it out, and then another big hit as Shane was sent down. Ty Jackson dumped off looking for his brother Dylan. Semick poked it down low, and this can be picked up and steered away here by Nick Anderson, who's got ice ahead of him here, but it's cleanly not broken out. Jackson with the intercept, dumped off to Dylan for a shot, and it was blocked and never got on net. Levi Glassman stepping on the accelerator, not going far. The Raiders are offside, so the Sun Devils can cleanly now have an opportunity to break this one out. It's one touched in by O'Reilly. P.J. Garrett steered it all the way around, but Glassman was there to intercept it for the Raiders. 2.5 to go in the opening period here at Mullet Arena, the first ever men's hockey game here in this building after many seasons right down the road in Scottsdale at Oceanside Ice Arena. Lager back out there for ASU, the first time he's brought up here on the broadcast. Jack Judson in there to try and break it out. And again, the Raiders just barely able to muster up an effort to clear the zone, but the Sun Devils come right back in. O'Reilly on the backhand, and it was behind the intended target. Murchison trying to get it to Mastro Simone, and now he picks it up cleanly. Ty Murchison smartly backhands it in, where Mastro Simone can maybe start the cycle here. Doing it himself, though, for a shot, and it catches the plexiglass behind Geilander. Lovell rotating it by himself here, looking for some help. Wrist shot on, and we can catch our breath up here as Geilander has that one corralled, and he'll freeze it.
Bit of a track meet there, back and forth, as Colgate just not really able to keep control of the puck at all. The Sun Devils doing a terrific job, and specifically it's that third line and second line for ASU doing a really good job just keeping the puck off Colgate's sticks, coming through the neutral zone. The Raiders haven't really been able to complete passes the way they'd like to, at least not at the percentage they'd like to. So far for Arizona State, good coverage through the neutral zone here coming down at the end of the first period.
Face-off won by the Sun Devils. It was behind Josh Doan, who can just get one hand on the stick to keep it in behind the net of Geilander. Robert Mastro-Simone to the point where Sillinger was protecting all alone in front with Schmaggy, and it didn't get to him cleanly. Off the glass and out. This could be an icing. It's waved off because of the hustle done there very well on the skate by Ben Raymond. Niedermeyer kicks it along the half wall, and Sillinger should cleanly get it out, and he does. Doan trying to extend the play. He throws a check there, does Josh Doan. And off the boards here, Lucas Sillinger. Nice feed over the middle. Doan's in, and a save by Geilander. He cleans it up and scores. The first goal at Mullet Arena. Doan makes it 1-0.
Josh Doan, welcome to Mullet Arena. Heck of a goal there, and it's a Josh Doan-esque finish, Matt. It wasn't done on the first time, it was done the second time as he put in the effort to work his way right around the goalie, tuck that one home for the first goal here at Mullet Arena. And man, look at the student section. They are absolutely fired up. 942 crew, happy they were able to get that first goal here in the first period of men's ice hockey at Mullet Arena.
I bet a lot of people would have said that number 91 in white would have the first goal here for the Sun Devils in this building. Beautiful on the extension for Doan to come in on the breakaway. Late here in the first period, ASU grabs the first goal.